Hey there, welcome to today's episode. As the title suggests, I've got some new merch being launched on my store, and today I just want to show you a couple of samples from that line. Now, I've had the sample packs around for a little while, but I've really wanted to do t-shirts, hoodies, that type of thing, add some clothing to the store. If you follow the channel, you might know as my day job, I'm an artist, graphic designer, and I've been trying to find a company that I like so that I could get orders sent out kind of internationally. Now, in the UK, we've had a couple of problems because they introduced a law not too long back that stopped us from selling in Europe without somebody to kind of verify the products at the other end. Now, thankfully, this particular company looks like we can kind of navigate around that. And the idea is that whoever prints the shirts, they are printed on demand and they'll be printed in the country where you live. Or if not in the exact country, certainly a neighboring country, so they'll be close by. That has a bunch of benefits because it means that you won't pay silly shipping charges. There's a lot of stuff that I like from America, but if I try and order it into the UK, it costs a fortune in terms of shipping. So having the clothing manufactured close by means that we can kind of do away with that. And also, you shouldn't have really long wait times for your products, which would be nice. Now, as I've already mentioned, it is print on demand, and that's for a couple of reasons. The first one being that I want to have complete freedom to create designs every day of the week if that's what I want to do, and just add tons and tons of stuff to the store. When it comes to making products now, if you wanted to do the screen printing route, then you would have to batch order those and you have to get a bunch of them, and then you're never really sure whether they're going to sell, you're not sure what sizes you need. So the print on demand model makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. Now, because it is print on demand, we use mock-ups that's going to be on my web store to give you a preview of what the product looks like. But in order to ensure that I was happy with it, I've ordered a couple of samples in so that you can see the actual products and what it is that you'll be getting. Now, the designs will differ, but these are the actual shirts that you'll receive, and I'm pretty happy with how they've turned out. I'll talk a little bit more about the printing methods in a second. Now, there'll be all types of different designs. I've got a lot of ideas for stuff for the future. For now, I'm doing a lot of these. I kind of do these hand-drawn sketches of classic samplers. There'll be a bunch of those, all your classic samplers, all the ones you'll be looking for, and the general theme will be kind of crate digging, beat making, that type of stuff. But as time goes by, I'm going to introduce some of my own personal artwork into that as well. And I might even get into kind of slightly more limited edition runs and things here and there. All of the merch on the website is just to help keep the channel supported. I want to do more and more with the vinyl, but every time I do stuff with vinyl, then it takes away the monetization for the videos. But I can kind of counterbalance that if I'm selling more products. Now, this is one of the first products that I've got, and it's the classic SP303 design. I've decided to go for Gildan for my blanks, for the t-shirt blanks, and there's a couple of reasons for that. The first one being that Gildan is slightly more towards the workwear environment, so they're kind of slightly more hard wearing. I've got Gildan shirts from the 90s that are still going strong. I also really like the cut of these shirts. They're kind of standard, a very boxy kind of cut, just like your kind of classic 90s t-shirt. That's what I want. I know you can get Bella and Canvas, a couple of these other brands, but they're more kind of tailored, more sort of slim fit. But I do find with those kind of more slim fit tailored shirts, they don't suit everybody. I think a classic box cut t-shirt will suit everyone. You just have to pick the size that suits you. And typically with these shirts, the Gildan Ultra, which is the ones that I'm going to be using, they just run true to size. So if you wear an XL is going to fit you. Now, I have gone for the Ultra. That seems to be the better quality t-shirt from Gildan. I ordered in a couple of examples. They do a heavyweight as well, which sounds like it would be thicker than these, but actually the Ultra is the thicker t-shirt. The heavyweight is much cheaper than these, but I wanted something that felt like a half decent product. In terms of the printing, I'm using DTG, so it's direct to garment, and that's what a lot of big manufacturers are using now. Companies like Uniqlo. One of my favorite artists, Para, if you know that stuff, it's from Amsterdam. He seems to print his shirts in this way, and the benefit of it is that it kind of soaks into the fabric, so it feels like the print is part of the cloth. Now, it's hard to show on camera, but with DTG, this doesn't come out jet black. It has almost a very dark gray kind of tone to it because it is part of the fabric. It still looks black overall. And with DTG, you do see some of the slight fibers coming through from the shirt, but that doesn't particularly bother me. I prefer this to screen printing because sometimes screen printing's laid on really thick. It's heavy. It feels like it's sitting on top of the shirt and it's just not very comfortable. You can also get DTF now, which is like a transfer that also sits on top of the shirt. I think that's great if you're trying to do stuff that needs more of a photograph kind of quality. But for me, I kind of prefer this where it just feels kind of sunken in and part of the shirt. Now I'll be including wash instructions with the shirts, and just like anything that you buy that is printed, it doesn't matter where you get it from. If you don't look after it in the wash, then you are going to suffer from fading. Just like screen printing and other methods, DTG relies upon you washing at a relatively low temperature, and ideally you shouldn't tumble dry the garment. I never tumble dry anyway, I don't even have a tumble dryer. But the problem with the tumble dryer, one, it can just shrink the t-shirt, but also it causes cracking on certain types of prints. DTG not so much, but it will cause more fading if you heat it up too much. With these, if you wash them around 30 and then you just hang them up to dry, which is how we wash stuff here in our household, then you should get a relatively long lasting print. Now if I just set this one to the side for a second, I want to show you this guy here, which is my classic bootleg koala design. These are going to be listed on the store. I know a lot of people like these. This particular shirt is a Gildan Ultra, and this is probably at least 2 years old at this point. It's been washed many, many times, and I just want to try and show you it up close. It has faded ever so slightly. It's not quite as vibrant as when I bought it, but considering the amount of times it's been washed, it's holding up fairly well. And I'll be honest, I don't mind when they get a slightly kind of vintage look. So in terms of DTG, as long as you're looking after the shirt and you're washing it properly, you should get a good long life out of these things. Now, another thing I'm going to be selling is hoodies. I've still got a couple of sample prints that I want to bring in, and I'm going to be starting off with a lot of white t-shirts, mainly because I wear white a lot. I just think the classic white t-shirt with like a black or a simple design on it just kind of works really well. But I'm going to be doing a few more sample tests because I just want to see what it's like when we start printing some colors onto black, things like that. I am starting off with this design here. This is a black Gildan hoodie. Again, it's going to be Gildan. It's a boxy classic cut. And this is the first design that's printed on the front. It's just a little nod to crate digging, of course. And again, I just want to show you what that's like in terms of white on a black garment. Now, it prints surprisingly well. If we're really close to it, you will see some slight black fibers coming through the print, but again, it doesn't really bother me. I think it looks really good. I know you can't get quite the full picture here, but there will be links in the description to the website where you can see better pictures of what these look like. The hoodie quality is really nice. It's nice and thick. It doesn't feel flimsy. Double lined hood, obviously a drawstring, and the kind of classic muff pocket that you get on the front to put your hands in. So there we go. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up of some new merch that's landed. There's a whole bunch of designs up already, but I'm going to be adding more and more to this over time. And as I said, all sales just help to support my channel, keeps me doing what I do. And if you do happen to make a purchase, I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.